Welcome to the Black Duck Revival Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Wilkins. I'm excited to have you join me as I speak with a fascinating collection of folks, all of whom have in common that they've made a way for themselves by finding an intersection between thoughtful consideration and the tactile work of getting their hands dirty. This is an examination of intention, capability, and craft. It's where philosophy meets the blue-collar work ethic and where I find real value. The Black Duck Revival Podcast is sponsored by our friends over at Hunters of Color. Hunters of Color is a 501c3 nonprofit. They're the only nationwide hunting nonprofit led by BIPOC for BIPOC. They're working on increasing Black, Indigenous, and other peoples of color participation in hunting for the sake of conservation, food sovereignty, and to preserve our ancestral traditions. They do that by focusing on their three pillars, which is mentorship, conservation, and education. So if you want to get involved with Hunters of Color, if you want to support that good work that they're doing, check them out at their website. It's huntersofcolor.org or on all social media platforms with the tag Hunters of Color. The 2023 Black Duck Revival Turkey Tour is brought to you by Rome Adventure Company, makers of high quality and rugged outdoor gear to get you where you want to be on all your vehicle-based adventures. I've got the Black Duck Revival van outfitted with the Vagabond XL tent that sleeps 3 to 4 people. It's got a 3-inch high density foam mattress, very comfortable, and an anti-condensation pad to keep you warm and dry. It takes just 5 minutes to set up and another 5 to put back in the morning, and you're on your way to wherever the road might take you. Please check out Rome Adventure Company at romeadventureco.com. Get on the road and make the most of it. Hey everybody, I'm back here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Turkey Bebop is officially over, and I am having some withdrawals. And, life is funny. I made it through that whole trip, and, living perhaps not the healthiest I ever have in my entire life, mostly due to Modelo's. But man, I did really well. I was physically, I was in good shape the whole time. And now that I'm back home, pretty much everybody in my house has gotten sick. And my wife had strep throat, and now I've got it. But this week, I'm joined by someone who, quite possibly could be the most interesting person in the world. This is Elias Cairo from Portland, Oregon. If you've heard of Olympia Provisions, if you've had any of their salamis or any of their dry cured sausages, fantastic operation. Elias started that. He also has 5 restaurants there in the Portland area. I got to eat at one of them, and man, it was so good. It made me emotional. I don't mean that I was crying at the bar or anything, but I was in my feelings. It was just this is what food can be if someone just gives a shit. But back to Elias, man. This guy was a pro skateboarder at 14. At 17, he's living in Switzerland illegally, staging, or I guess he wasn't staging. He was apprenticing underneath this really well-renowned chef, and he ended up staying there for years and years, and he married someone from Liechtenstein, and she didn't speak English, and she had titles and stuff. It's just crazy. And then he comes back to the U.S., and he starts this operation, and man, it's just such a cool place. It's just the way everything's put together. We talk a lot about intentional design and intentionality on this podcast. And, man, this dude just gives a shit about everything he's doing. I could talk on and about him, and I wish I could have spoken to him longer. I think we talked for an hour and a half, something like that. And I would have loved to sat there and just kind of drain a bottle of wine with this guy and hear a bunch more stories. But hopefully in the future we'll get to do that. I'd love to get to hunt with this guy sometimes, and Oregon is one of my favorite places to hunt. So hopefully we will be able to make that happen. But just real quick, and I read this to Elias because we got introduced. I had heard about him a bunch from my buddy Jay Beyer, And then Jesse Griffiths, who's been on the podcast and is a buddy of mine, he was interacting with him on this turkey thing that he was doing. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, man, see if this dude will be on the podcast. This is what Jesse Griffiths said about him in a text. I asked him for his phone number, and he said, sure. He's about as quality as a human can be. Fascinating person. From my all too brief interaction with him, I'm right there with you, Jesse. Hope to get to share a hunt camp with this guy sometime. Hope to get to, maybe even cook with him sometime. So please enjoy this conversation with Elias Cairo. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Duck Revival podcast. I'm here in Portland, Oregon, the headquarters for Antifa, and I am in the offices of Olympia Provisions with Elias Cairo. And, man, this is kind of like this big full circle moment for me, because like I was telling Elias when I first walked in here, like when I got introduced, I would say that like learning to make sausage, Ruhlman's book Charcuterie, and Olympia Provisions were like all kind of happen at the same time for me.
Awesome.
And I told you it's because this dude from Oregon, him and his wife Tara had moved, Brandon and Tara had moved to Little Rock, and they opened up like Little Rock's, and I would imagine Arkansas's, but definitely Little Rock's first like artisan kind of butcher shop where they're like, they weren't even working through whole animals, but like actually working through, parts of animals, making shit tons of fresh sausage, making terrines. It was definitely like the city's first exposure to that. Cool. And then, he had like these, you could buy like these Olympia Provision sausages. I mean, that's like the first place I had foie gras.
Oh, amazing.
That's the first place I had like a dry cured meat that wasn't, from Costco or something. Yeah. And then when I was like, I knew Buyer knew you like a couple years ago, and I was like, fuck, that's wild, man. That Olympia Provisions guy, dude. And then when I was hunting with Jesse was like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to hunt with this dude Elias. And I was like, shit. And then when me and Buyer the other day, we were driving, and I texted Jesse, and I was like, are you in Oregon? And he's texting you. And I was like, let's see which one of our famous chef friends responds first. And you responded to Buyer first. Yeah. But it's all, Jesse always responds to me. Yeah, he was busy hunting turkeys.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, man, dude, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Where should we start? So, like, I didn't even tell you, man. So this podcast, it seems like it revolves, the people I talk to revolve around hunting, but like the copy on it is like finding people who have found a way for themselves with by combining thoughtful consideration with the tactile work of getting their hands dirty. All right. We talk about the blue collar work ethic a lot, which I think a lot of people that have never worked on a line don't understand how blue collar and physical cooking is. Oh my goodness. Especially kitchen culture. I mean, it's like working on like a fucking boat or something, it's like sailors. Lots of tattoos. Check. Lots of drinking. Check. There's been dabbling in drugs, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff, right? Man, it's really, to me it's like in a right place, in a good place. It's kind of like construction and rock and roll, right? There's like artistic stuff. Jesse Griffiths always tells like his chefs, he's like, we're way closer to plumbers than we are to painters, right? Because it's there's art involved in it, but it's a craft, right? It's a trade.
Yep. And you could be a bad plumber.
Yeah.
You could be a bad cook, but if you do it really, really well, if you look at some really good copper piping that goes through a perfect, system, now that's art, then you're closer to the art side of that. But yeah, in cooking for sure, you can be opening Cisco bags and reheating microwave food, and sure, you're cooking, but then you're doing the plumbing work, which is difficult, but then there's also the certain part where you're actually utilizing whole animals and cooking seasonally and so on and so forth. It gets closer to art, making people real happy through food. It's quite a rewarding task.
I'd actually say you get closer to art. So this is my opinion. I'm not really attracted to like, that gastronomy side of it, right?
Nah.
Like foams and all that kind of stuff. To me, folks who like learn how to cook, have some decent breadth in their exposure to food, and then they find a way to simplify shit. Like Jesse cooks very, very simply, right? And then you have to end up with this focus on ingredients, right? Because then you got to like let the thing taste like what it is, right?
For sure.
But
there is the maturity in cooking. As you go, it's kind of when you learn a lot. I see it in a lot of things. When you learn something, you kind of just want to flex that you can do it, and you want to do it all at one time. And as cooking, as you progress, right, you're learning how to poach, you're learning new ingredients, you're learning crispy and texture and sour, and you're like want to show it off to show the world that you can do it. And then once you start cooking, and you kind of really realize that the actual mastering the craft is less, being able to utilize less tools, show your
restraint,
being more restrained,
being
more refined, and focusing on ingredients and so on and so forth. And I do notice that with a lot of chefs that chefs that hunt, that I think there's a progression in cooking too, where you kind of do get obsessed with ingredients and product, and that's when the wild game becomes so much more interesting. Because after I've cooked for 20, started at 16. I can't even do the math on that, a long time, and then at some point you start realizing you can cook beef every single way, grass-fed, whatever, regular finish. You can eat pork, lamb, everything. You kind of run out of what's really interesting to cook. And then all of a sudden you start trying maybe more wild meat, and you'll overcook your first backstrap of elk, and you're like, man, I just blew that. You'll over braise a shoulder, and you're like, that turned into cotton. You'll try to cook your first rabbit, and you're like, I absolutely ruined that.
Fucked up a duck, man. Everyone fucks up a duck
Fuck
first.
up some ducks, exactly. Yeah. Screw something up, and then that's a whole nother intriguing thing that you're trying to master. And then it becomes how amazingly unique that product is. You shoot a Roosevelt elk out here on the Oregon coast, and you start eating through it over the year, and you start realizing how unique and how rare it is for people to actually try and taste this unbelievable product, and it just becomes very engaging.
Yeah, man, you're entering a niche of a niche of a niche,
right?
Especially if you're not just like covered in Campbell's cream of mushroom soup,
for example.
Which I'm not opposed to shit on a shingle, and I like comfort, like mid-America comfort food as well.
Oh yeah.
But what I always tell people about that, I was like, look, dude, if that's how your grandmama made pheasants, make it that way. But you know what you could do? You could take garlic, thyme, like a sweet onion. I prefer sweet. A sweet onion, some good mushrooms, and some good cream, and you could make cream of mushroom soup, and then you could do that, and it would be like something totally different.
Yep.
Right?
And you can play with it. You get different flavors. You realize you don't need all the sugar in it.
Find the mushrooms. Like I got we found one big morel.
Ooh, this weekend?
My buddy's yard, like a couple hours before I left Corvallis.
Ooh, it's coming.
And I was like, let me have the morel. And so I just got the one morel, right? But dude, when they come on, man, you get a bunch of them.
Oh, it's heaven.
Man, like do a little turkey cutlet, do a little morel butter sauce on top, man.
Oh man, I'm not proud of saying this, especially on a hunting podcast, but I can't tell you how many spring turkey hunts have turned into morel hunts.
Oh, dude, I think you're still winning, man. A morel is I got married on the opening day of turkey season in Arkansas 8 years ago, and my buddies came out of the woods, and they were like kind of pissed at me. They're like, "Ooh, Jada, why you getting married on turkey season?" I'm like, "Man, you sons of bitches don't kill no turkeys. What does it matter?" You know what I mean? Like, I ain't never seen you kill a turkey, dog. You go up there and drink beer and pick mushrooms, but you ain't killing them turkeys. Yeah. But anyway, my homie Nate rolls up, and he's like, "Well, here you go, man. Here's your wedding present." And he handed me like a Walmart bag full of the brim of morels.
Oh, he wins.
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man. And I made a steak. A few days later, I made a steak, and like hadn't slept for like 2 days, like literally, because I was in like fire academy rookie school and whatever. But I like cooked this good pretty good quality steak up and like all those morels, and it's still like one of the best meals ever.
They're the best. Yeah, we just had our first run of morels with Jesse. Actually, we brought some in.
Oh, did you?
And we made bacon lardons, morels, the giblet, heart, and liver in marsala sauce over toast over a campfire.
Oh yeah, I saw Ben O'Brien was posting about that. I think.
Yeah, we made it over a fire because it was fun to watch Jesse navigate snow and being like, and also for me to hunt turkeys in that much snow too. But
I didn't even think about that, man, because he's so Texas.
Yeah. It was so fun. It was the absolute best to watch him. Like, hey, he's a hell of a hunter, so driven to find turkeys and to do it, but then also being like, yeah, we're gonna make hot toddies to get warm over a fire, and
Oh, Jesse likes a cocktail, man.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, he's in the cocktails, dude. It's actually really fun. It's a really fun way to hunt, man, because you can hunt and then come back. And like when we were hunting in Texas, like me and Ben would come back and it'd be like him. You know who Jean-Paul Bourgeois is?
I know of him, yeah.
Yeah, the duck camp. So like you come back and like one of them's making your food, and Jesse's like, already half a bottle of wine in, like pouring you. And what I really love too, man, is me and Jesse were both talking about how much we like rosé.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'll take, man, something that's funny about Jesse is like the first time we were hanging out and he was at the lodge and we were fishing, and I was like standing there talking to him in the kitchen. It was hot as shit, right? Outside, and I'm like, I had like these, just like dad loafers on, and I like was kicking them off, kind of just like playing around, and I was like, yo, man. I was like, my 2-year-old daughter painted my toenails, man. That's why they look like that. And he goes, dude, he's like, I just went in my room and put socks on because I realized my daughter had painted my toenails.
Yes.
And I didn't want you to think I was an idiot.
Yes.
I was like, oh, bet.
That's good.
And then we're like talking about rosé, and I mean, shit, dude, I like them bubbles too, man.
Yeah, full circle on Jay too. Jay's a big nail polish guy. I always get.
Oh, you know what, man? That's like only been happening for like a year, man.
Oh, he's new to it.
That's like a new thing. Him and Rachel go out and they get pedicures, and then they go and eat sushi.
That's a nice day.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with it. But, man, he's like, he was in the van with me for like a week, and, he's always got flip-flops on, and then he's got his bare feet like up on the dashboard, and he's got shamrocks painted on him and stuff.
Ooh, la-di-da.
Like, dude, he really got intense,
Jay.
man. But, shit, man, yeah, dude, that's a man who's comfortable with himself.
Very comfortable.
But so, yeah, dude. And I'm sure you've had to relate this so many times, but I'm real interested in. So one, like I told you, I love the fact. Are your parents Greek immigrants?
Yeah, my father's from Greece.
Okay, so yeah. I got like a real soft spot in my heart for Greeks because of my buddy Pete Cairo, Petros Cairo, right?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful name.
Who, dude, you guys, you could be cousins, man. Like
nice.
Similar, that like kind of stocky, wide Greek build. And dude, man,
we are Sparta.
Yeah, dude, Pete's a beast, dude. Like Pete, I ain't fighting Pete. If you gave me $100,000, I wouldn't fight that dude,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I wouldn't be able to spend it. He's from Mansfield, Ohio, dude. And I'll tell you what, dude, I've been carrying this with me since I like had that restaurant, that bar. So Pete came. He lived in Little Rock for a while, and then he moved back to Ohio. And like his parents were both from Greece, and they had like a diner, and then his dad started buying up like shitholes and like fixing them up and renting them out, and he's like the king of Mansfield, I think they call him now. Like
That's the Greek story right there.
But so like he was like kind of visiting the bar and saying what's up. And he's in there, and I'm cooking and doing whatever, and he comes in and he's like, Jonathan, man, he's like, man, you really remind me of my dad a lot. He's like, you work like an immigrant. And I was like, dude, what a fucking compliment. And he's like, you work really hard and you're just fucking grumpy all the time. I was like, bet, dude. So I just always think of like his dad. I've never met his dad, but I've seen pictures, man. And his dad's just, built like a Lego block, like a square, big, super hairy, like Bluto arms.
You sure he's not my dad?
He's everybody's dad. But I always carry that. I was like, dude, I'll tell you what, man. I work like an immigrant every fucking day, dude.
Yeah.
Especially that cat. I mean, like a dude who came here, like can't speak the language, got nothing.
Yep.
And I mean, it's not like people are going to Mansfield, Ohio on vacation, really, but like he came to a place and made it made his mark on it.
Yep. That's my dad's exact story. My dad, merchant marine, jumped ship in Chicago, found his oldest sister. He had 13 siblings, and she was way older, in Chicago, and then started, cooking, and met my mom. They got deported. They both went back to Greece to figure it out, moved back, and then created a little empire in Salt Lake City of restaurants, quarter shop, Greek American diners.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. I didn't realize you came from a family of restaurateurs.
Yep. So he was exactly like you explained, bought restaurants, did cafes, and then we had a huge garden, and we raised all of our animals. My dad we came from a small olive growing village that's still there. Mm-hmm. And, he just made everything. We made all of our own wine. We made all of our own booze. We raised all of our own animals. If we were doing woodwork or had to fix something, we'd go harvest our own glue out of pine, pitch.
Oh, were you really? You were doing pine pitch? Good dang, dude.
Yeah,
that's next level.
Yeah,
dog.
he was very, tons of beehives, and we just made all of our own food. And I loved that stuff. I was always with my dad. If my dad was going fishing, I was going fishing. If we were going to the kitchen, I was going to the kitchen. I hated school. My sister, on the other hand, was the exact opposite, and she loved school. And my dad was he also ran the stock market. He was, savvy Greek business guy as well on that end. And my sister went to business school and did that, and I stayed in food. And then, then it
kind of like divided the legacy.
And he passed away when I was 15 years old. And right at that year, I got sponsored for snowboarding in Salt Lake. And just instantly dropped out of high school and started shredding.
Who'd you get sponsored by?
Burton Snowboards.
You got sponsored by Burton? 15?
But way young. Like, this is I'm not young in the world of snowboarding. Like, I wasn't like X Games. This is I'm older than that, so we would go on the tours.
Like the Ryan Sickler of snowboarding?
Sure. We would go ride around in the van. It was super fun, and go do demos at big different mountains. It was the dream. It was so fun. And then I got scared snowboarding, and I called my mom. I was just jumping off scary shit all the time. And I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm quitting snowboarding. I want to become a fancy chef. I want to go back to Europe and figure out how to become a chef. And
is your mom from Europe?
No, my grandfather on her side is too. So my mother's dad is.
So your mom's like Greek descent.
First, and my dad's from Greece. And long story short, she's like, you're going to go back to Greece. We're going to learn how to cook in the village. And I'm like, Mom, I know how to cook a goat over fire. We got this. What am I really going to learn? I want to go to a French fancy culinary school. Long story short, she gets me a Swiss apprenticeship up in the middle of the Swiss Alps. And
so what, so Switzerland's I think Switzerland's 4 official languages, right?
Yeah.
German, Italian, French.
Roman Latin.
Okay.
Romansh, yeah.
So what section were you in?
I was in the Swiss German speaking part, right on the border of Austria, Liechtenstein, Germany.
Liechtenstein, man. Great place to say the name of. My sister lived and worked in Lugano.
Oh, very
down
cool.
By Italy for 5 years.
So beautiful down there.
Yeah, that's a real cool place to visit. This place called Tassis, the American school.
Oh, cool.
It's all these rich Americans and Russian oligarch, oil oligarch people.
That tracks to Lugano. The whole vibe on that Russian Riviera or the Italian Riviera.
Dude, that place is gnarly, man.
So pretty.
That place is I went there backpacking with my homie.
Oh, cool.
And for 5 years, dude, she had a 2-story condo in those mountains and a car, and she could eat all her meals at the school, dude. And she had zero concept of
reality.
She's making decent money or whatever. But then on spring break, them rich Russians, they'd be like, I will give you $10,000 to come to Nice. This is a terrible Russian accent. But she'd go to Nice for a week and tutor the kid and get $10,000 in cash.
She should still be doing this.
She's living in Illinois now. But she'd be like, oh, there's a limit on how much cash I can bring back to the U.S.
I'll help you.
Yeah, I don't care about your problems.
Let me problem solve.
I live in a trailer in Arkansas, dude. I ate a squirrel for dinner. But so you go to Switzerland at 16 then, huh?
At that time, I snowboarded for 3 years, so I moved there at 17. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the coolest thing about this is a pre-internet era. And so I had to go to the library. I mean, there was internet. I just wasn't like privy to it. So I went to the library and I read it, and it says, famous ski resort town, famous for cheese making and meat making. And that's pretty much all I got. Unterwasser over Tokenberg. And I get on an airplane, get up in there, take a train up into the mountains, make a phone call from the train station, and I'm driving halfway up a ski resort. Mind you, I just spent my last few years snowboarding, and I thought I was walking away from it. And this mountain's in the middle of the
had you
resort.
set this up before you got there? Or you just go there and like call?
They called my mom. Like my mom called the church. Somehow they recognized somebody in a
church, like what, Greek
Orthodox church.
Okay,
and like there's a part of a Swiss culture. Once you finish cooking, if you want to improve your education, you have to go work abroad. And one of these Swiss apprenticeships 10 years ago came to one of my family's restaurants in Chicago, Greek American restaurant. Did an apprenticeship. She became a real fancy chef, Annegret Schlumpf. Amazing woman, and her apprentice got injured. And right at that time, they called and they said, hey, somebody got injured. If you get here, you can take this job. So I sold all my snowboarding gear, sold my car, threw it in a backpack, and just ended up in this little town. But the coolest thing, which I think you'll relate to, is I get into this hotel, and the first day I open up the walk-in cooler, and there's a huge ibex hanging in the cooler.
Yeah, because that's kind of like the thing that they can hunt over there, right?
Ibex, chamois,
and
ray, hirsch, elk, and like little tiny deers and like marmots. But the owner of the hotel, Birger Stump, he's the Jägermeister, hunter master of the valley, kind of like a game warden of it. So if you shoot an animal in this valley, you bring it up to our restaurant, we'd process it and be able to utilize it in our restaurant or sell it back to the hunters. So I walked.
Really? What a strange, that's so different than the North American model.
Oh yeah, big time. And to be so celebrated that you can go to this really high-end restaurant, and during certain times of the year, you could have you can order, let's say you can have an ibex steak, you can have a chamois steak, a chamois steak, and a deer steak, and you can order it by like the grams. So it'd be like, hey, I want XXX, and we'd serve it to you on a copper plate, sizzling, and we'd have like morels and demi-glace with whipped cream, or we would have there's a horseradish cream sauce with butter, and they would just come on little candles, and you could sit and have this warm sauce and try a piece of ibex.
This is like some seriously decadent European shit, man.
Oh yeah, it was small little.
That's wild.
Small little mountain village in the middle of nowhere, and like the neighbors across the street from me were all farmstead cheesemakers. And so I'm in the middle of the mountains. Like I'd go see these people making this livelihood, like making cheese, and the kill plant for the town meat was in the village, and I just fell in love with that. So I'd go work at the kill and kill, cows and pig or whatever.
Are they taking like rennet from there over to the cheese folks, or is that like
rennet? So a lot of the rennet producers, a lot of these protected mountain cheesemakers, it has to come from their farmstead to some place.
Okay.
So if you're a true protected, they're doing it on farms. Some of them are so protected. If you're in the high Alps, the higher mountain areas where they march their cows up, the wood and the energy they use to fire their kilns have to come from their property as a way to show like management properties.
Is there and so like what kind of cheeses? I mean, so people are gonna be like Swiss cheese, right? But like, are we talking about like soft cheeses, runny cheeses, fresh stuff? What?
So in the village, when they have it, they can make different types of cheese up there. The most famous cheese that we had up there is called Appenzeller. You can get it in America. That was one ridge to the north, and that's what we call Bergkäse or Alpkäse, and it's like a semi-soft, hard mountain cheese, usually cow milk.
Okay.
The most famous cheesemaker that we had in our valley, he was made Fosterkäse, and it was spruce-bound, bloomy rind, semi-soft cheese, kind of like Harbison I've seen like a brie that's bound in a spruce tree.
I've never seen that.
It's unbelievable. And it like, as it cures and picks up like the moldy closet that year, and it picks up the flavor of the spruce. And so it's really kind of woody and amazing. And
is it like resinous tasting?
It's perfumed. So you'd be like, it's almost like you got into a cedar sauna if you could taste it in a weird way. But you can bake them whole, or you can stick fruit in them or bread in them. It almost gets like fondue-y like, so it's like runny, soft cheese.
Sure.
They kind of make cheese throughout the year. So if you're in the village, like if you're in the village and you're making it throughout the winter when you can't get access, you're usually making like a hard, big cheese that you can age, or you're making a bloomy rind cheese. And then as the grass and the snow melts, you move your cows up to your Alps, up to your farmstead, and then up to your highest. At the very highest, they usually just make fresh cheeses and get them down to the valley. They make lots of butter. and then the mid-alp they'll make alp Ks and bear Ks, and then down in their farmstead they'll make the 3 different types of cheeses.
That's like, man, that's pretty incredible, like terroir, right? Like
So cool.
the elevation is influencing almost what they're doing.
Well, you can see you'll start to recognize the color of the cheese changes from the amount of grasses that they're eating on the mountain. So like way up top in the high of summer, the butter is like as bright yellow as like that manila envelope over there. It's just
it's like all that keratin and is it keratin or what's
chlorophyll?
Well, chlorophyll's and it definitely makes stuff green, but what's the thing in carrots that makes it?
Well, I hope it's keratin because it would make a lot of sense.
Well, actually, I think keratin's fingernails. Or keratin, who knows? But so, all right, so you're over there. How long do you stay over there
So my
for?
first one was, the apprenticeship was supposed to be 6 months. At 6 months, I asked Bigger if I could stay illegally. Didn't give me the yes or no answer. I just showed up to work, kept working. I worked there for another 2 years, and I asked if I could go to school because I recognized I was a high school dropout. And he kind of said no, but didn't really give me the full no. I went to school, and then I did my cooking apprenticeship and then finished that. And by the time I moved to Greece after that, I'd been there for 4.5 years, and I finally came home 5 years later.
Are you fluent in Greek?
No, not at all. Swiss German I'm fluent in.
Really?
Yeah. My ex-wife didn't know English, and we got through a divorce in Swiss German. So
What, dude?
Well, not quite even a full divorce, but we had a breakup.
What a thing to gloss over. And I will allow you to. my ex-wife didn't even speak English.
Yeah.
Dude, that's gnarly, dude.
Yeah, it was something.
Man, that's gnarly.
She was Liechtensteinian.
Really? Not very many of them, huh?
Tiny little country. I feel like it's like Portland.
That's wild, dude. Everything you just said about that story was like more interesting. She didn't speak English. She's from Liechtenstein, which is just like, that's something you say in a limerick.
Yeah. Here's a good one. She didn't learn how to drive a car, but her father, she came from a very wealthy family, in line to become the princes and princesses, like the first, the monarchy that they run, the next one down. Her father always said if she was doing something, it didn't matter where, he'd fund her. So if she was in Spain learning Spanish, it's fine. I'm going to pay for your house. I'm going to do all that stuff. Crazy life. She came to America, never learned how to drive a car, didn't need to. She just had things happen for her. And but she decided to learn to fly planes. And so I would be line cooking, trying to figure out how to open up this company and be making, next to minimum wage, cooking all the time. And she'd be taking like jet classes and then soloing to Alaska, on an airplane. She's like, "How was your day?" And I was like, "I don't know, I burnt myself, probably fucking overcooked the pasta." Who knows?
Yeah, I've got all these burn lines on my forearms.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude.
Interesting stuff.
That is wild, man. So, I mean, I don't know. What would you say? Like maybe the last decade, probably for like decade and a half, right? There's been a growing interest in so one, the term charcuterie gets so freaking overused. Like just because you put bits of pieces on a board doesn't make it charcuterie. Like you can't have a charcuterie taco board. It's just tacos on a piece of wood. It's not charcuterie, right? Like just understand that, man. You don't have to make it something it's not. It's still good. Yeah. But like the idea of like I think that just the idea of like fresh sausages is like a revelation to a lot of people, and it's super intimidating to them, right? Yep, and I'm always like, dude, if you can make meatloaf, you can make a shit ton of fresh sausages.
You're ready to go,
right? Like brats, Italian sausages, all that stuff you like to, all that Johnsonville stuff, you can make all of that.
Yep. Like
you start getting into emulsified stuff, like it's easier to mess up, right? Got to keep everything cold, but it'll still be fine. It just might be like a little grainy.
Yeah, exactly. Still gonna eat.
But yeah, you start introducing mold and stuff, man. You can mess it up, dog.
Yeah, fermentation gets a little more tricky. Yeah. So to go back just to demystifying charcuterie a little bit. Charcuterie means just cooked meat. to some sense. And so when I ask, if somebody says you're a charcuterie maker, if I just make it what I am, I'm a value added meat maker. So anything you're doing to meat to extend the shelf life or add value to it, you're making charcuterie.
Dude, okay, so freeze frame for a second, because that's a super restaurant term.
Yeah.
Value added. Which is probably worth like explaining a little bit.
Yeah, anything that you're adding, you're extending the shelf life, or when you say value added, like the most simple I can think of a cure or a piece of charcuterie is roast beef. So you've salted it and you've cooked it and you've cooled it and you're extending the shelf life of it a little bit and you've added value and flavor to it than it was the pot roast or the raw chuck round before it was. That's just adding more things to it. So if you're slicing a mid-rare roast beef sandwich, you are already making charcuterie.
Yeah.
If you're roasting a shoulder, if you're making a ham, any of those things, you're already doing this process. If you're smoking a pork shoulder, it's essentially charcuterie. You're just cooking meat and extending the shelf life of it. And so initially, my job in its initial is just adding value to the entire animal and utilizing every piece of it and extending it shelf life so you can use it throughout the seasons. If I'm fermenting it, slow cooking
and
it,
out of practicality too, right? Like originally out of practicality.
100%. Adding smoke, fermenting it, putting it in casings, doing whatever you can to preserve it without the comfort of refrigeration.
Yeah. Introducing this like lacto fermentation. And I'm just, look, I'm saying that. I don't actually know what lacto fermentation means. I would love for you to explain it to me.
Yeah. You want me to?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So when you're making salami, you're fermenting it. And it is a lactic acid culture. And initially what you would do is you would add maybe a dextrose to it. There is sometimes in enough pig and in certain animals, there is a higher sugar content in them that the lactic acid cultures can consume the sugars and release lactic acid. And when it's releasing this acid, it's dropping the pH. So once the pH gets to a certain level, bacteria and pathogens can't survive. So we use a degree calendar essentially when you do this. When you walked into my fermenting room, we have what we call a degree challenge, and you're having the pH drop in the danger zone in which bad pathogens want to survive, but there's a time ratio. So we know in 6 degree hours at 80 degrees, choose any of them, staph, E. coli, trichinosis, they will expand. But if you drop the pH fast enough, it'll not give them an environment to expand. So you can even have it. It can be inoculated with Staphylococcus or Salmonella. And if you get your pH down quick enough, this will not survive and it will die. So dropping the pH, having the lactic acid lower the acidity will not allow the pathogen to survive or expand.
And then that lactic acid becomes like a flavoring component, right?
You can, yeah. If you eat a lot of American salamis, they're very, very tangy. The most current one most Americans recognize is summer sausage. It's sour. Yeah. So that's already fermented, but then it's cooked. So summer sausage is fermented the same way. You give it a sour tang, you lower the pH, then you put it in your smokehouse, and you smoke it, and that will lower the suspended moisture in it, the water activity. That's making it shelf stable.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the salami, as opposed to cooking it, you're creating those environments that are slowly wicking the moisture off the outside, creating those mold blooms, and slowly but surely air drying your salami.
And so when you are, so you've got this like ground seasoned meat that's going through this curing process, right? And that moisture is leaving it. Can you explain to people a little bit how? You know, because we're conditioned to think that you have to cook meat, right? I mean, would you describe that as cooking, or would you describe that as a different process?
I would describe it as curing, not heat treating. Is what you call it. And what happens there is, so once you got the first hurdle down, and food safety reasons is the fermentation, the pH drop, the next likelihood that any spoilage or bacteria could exist would be suspended water, the moisture content in the meat, and the salt pulls that moisture out. And once that dries to what we refer to as suspended water or water activity to a certain low level, then nothing can grow in it. You can't have E. coli grow. You can't have staph grow. Nothing will grow. So as soon as you get the pH low enough and the water activity, the suspended moisture in the product, it is completely what we call shelf stable. It no longer can go bad. So it could get harder and be unedible. It could get oxidized, or the feet could, the fat could slowly but surely get rancid, but only the flavor profile. But in theory, you could not get sick from it. It is shelf-stable cured meat.
Because it's not the. That's why, like, some meat you can eat raw. It's not the fact that heat's been applied to it or not. It's like the heat, the sterilizing effect that the heat's providing is like getting whatever is dangerous in there to a temperature that it no longer survives.
Exactly. So you can cure it by fermentation in suspended water, or you can cook it. In the temperature variation, they all die at different temperatures, but 140, 145 or lower, depending on the time you keep it there, will do the same exact thing as drying it will, just way quicker.
All right, so let me ask you a question, because
Yes, sir.
in hunting, just straight up, like, people are afraid of bear meat, right?
Yes, sir.
It's because they've been told about trichinosis, right? It's the same thing with mountain lions. And it's the same reason why, like, everybody's parents think you have to cook pork until it's just like boot leather, right? But, I mean, would you be just, obviously not here at Olympia Provisions, but would, like, in your own personal dealings, would you be messed up about using one of these preparations on bear meat?
I would, if I'm addressing bear meat and I'm trying to make it into a non-heat treated fermented salami, I would be sure I would know what pH, what acidity trichinosis dies at, which I know is it's high. It's like, I think it's 4.6, something like that. I would make sure that 100%, I'd take a pH meter and I would see it hit 4.6 degrees, and I'd be like, trichinosis will not survive in this.
And then you'd be comfortable consuming
100%.
You'd feed it to your mama.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would, to any human being, and then I would dry it to make sure it doesn't come to whatever it is. And the same as cooking. So it's like, it is trichinosis heavy. We are aware that bear meat contains a lot of trichini. So you should address that. You should make sure that you cook it to the proper temperature. And you can do that with a thermometer pretty easy. We're very comfortable with the slow cooking it in fat, all the ways that we cook it. We can see that. But on the other hand, if you're going to make it into a salami or a summer sausage, be very adept at fermentation. Recognize how to calibrate your pH machine. Know that your pH hit that. And then go forward. It wouldn't be the first place I'd say, hey, tomorrow if you're going to make your first salami and use like a test strip,
go find a grizzly bear meat.
Don't start with the bear meat. Go get some USDA approved pork. Start there. Get comfortable with pH.
Because trichinosis has pretty much been wiped out in USDA approved facilities, right?
And the trichinosis, I'd have to, please Google this if you're out there and you're going to do this before you do it. But I'm pretty sure there's a trichini study in freezing. I want to say 3 months under deep freezing is a trichini reduction.
Okay.
So I think if you don't go doing this and eating raw bear meat until you double fact verified this, but I know in pork for sure there is a test. Like if you're going to make a prosciutto ham and you don't want to use excess amount of salt that will kill it, you can freeze the meat prior for X amount of time. And then it's considered a trichination reduction.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and like I told you, I haven't really delved into the dry cured meats, and I would definitely not start with bear meat.
No,
but I eat the shit out of bear meat. Just
heck yeah,
make a roast, man. The kids love it. What if someone? I'm sure people have asked you this millions of times, right? But someone who's procuring their own meat, right? So hunting, or they got a goat in the backyard and they had to take it down because goats stink and pee all over themselves.
And eat your fence, yes.
Yeah. So where would you, someone's like, man, I'm interested in charcuterie. Where would you tell them to start?
I would depends on how well versed they are. Like by making a product, is that what you're saying?
I mean, so I guess you could answer this as broadly as you wanted. Excuse me. You could say like, oh, you should start with this text, or you should say like, like in my mind, like the easiest thing is like Brazola or something, right? Like that's pretty simple, man.
Yeah. So from a simple way to preserve your meat, no matter what it is, I would learn the art of comfy.
Okay, yeah, do it, man. What a great point, yeah. Because we forget that's a preservation method.
It is 100% the most basic, fundamental way, especially with bear meat, where you're something high-fat content, lower lean meat content. Make yourself marinate this, season it, slow cook it in its own fat, removing the moisture and capping it with this beautiful bear fat, and that is a preserved pate to an extent.
Yeah.
That's where I'd say learn with duck confit is the most classic, most delicious way, and you're going to preserve it. If you do it the right way, you can hold a confit for a year if you heat it back up to where we kill all pathogens again and recap it, reheat it, recap it, keep it in your refrigeration.
It'll ripen.
Yeah, it'll get way more umami
it'll
and all
get
those
intense,
flavors.
man.
Yeah.
But so with that fat, as I understand, that fat cap that you're talking about,
Correct.
like, and that's meaning that, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast, but like basically French peasants who couldn't read, 500 years ago figured out that if you took these old tough geese and you cooked them for a long time and all that rendered fat, and then you put it in an earthen crock down in the root cellar and covered it with enough liquid fat that all the meat was submerged, when that stuff dried, you'd be creating an anaerobic environment.
Correct.
Right? And then you could break that seal, get that meat out, like crisp it in a pan, take that fat, make some like potatoes or something with it. Like very, very good, like
the
tasty.
Best. Yeah. So good on salads or just hand chopping it together and folding it back in and making a rillette and spreading it.
Yeah.
Rillette is considered the first butter to a lot of people, where they would take a stale piece of bread and moisten it with a fat, and it was always high protein fats and duck and geese and all of those things to moisten stale breads.
And man, dude, rillettes are, man, they work really good with waterfowl. It's a great way to like utilize the skin from waterfowl, like as you get all that collagen and you just like whip it up and pack it in like little those little tiny mason jars.
Yeah,
like that's a great thing. Like you go over to somebody's house with that and some bread and a bottle of wine, dude. Like
you should be a hero.
That's legit, man.
Yeah,
And
it's, if people are, if you have a slightly swampy or a muddy tasting duck or something, you can really alter the flavor. You can add more cognac. You can add booze. You can add more spice. You can really start playing with how you're gonna like flavor. If you're like, hey, I don't want the simplicity in it, you can put star anise in your fat. You can put lots of garlic when you're confitting it to add to it. So it's a way to really utilize it, not be like, this one tastes X, and not like just throwing it back in
and
the
it's
pot.
like, it's pretty simple, right? Like you just
simplest.
Put it in a pot in the oven, leave it in there for like, you could set it at 175 and like leave it for 17 hours.
Fall asleep.
Yeah.
I put it in at the night, and you wake up in your house and it smells like slowly cooking duck fat in heaven, and you're doing all right.
You could mash it all up, spread it. You could throw it on. You make like tacos. I mean, anything with it, dude. It's great.
I would definitely say that's where I would start. And then the next step, if you're going to like take the next step into it, and especially if you're a waterfowler or an upland game hunter or anybody that has any kind of excess odd cuts, is I would just learn how to make a pate. And that's all you need is a grinder and a pot, right? Because you have your confit, you're already knowing how to make that rillette. And the next thing you need is to just make a pate.
Would you actually, so I'm Joe Schmo, whitetail hunter.
Yeah.
Right, I killed me a deer. I know about cutting them back straps out.
Yeah.
And my daddy always made a deer burger with the hams.
Heck yeah.
Right. And I got a little recipe. I like to take those shoulders, soak them in Coca-Cola, and put them on the smoker, man.
Heck yeah.
So now I've got, neck meat, shanks, rib meat, just some stuff, right? Maybe some caul fat.
Any of your grind.
Yeah. So how would just a fella take that old? Man, that's what you're supposed to throw in the road ditch. How do I turn that into pate?
Make a pate. Pate is a real fancy word for cold meatloaf, just like you said. And we use a panade, which is, I think a lot of meatloaf recipes uses a bread filler of some sort. So you would take old bread and you'd soak it in cream and a booze. I usually use cognac, or if you like whiskey, or if you like bourbon, soak your bread in that, and then about a third of that, and then you'd make your spices, whatever your flavor is. If I'm having a whitetail, I'm into juniper, I'm into sage, I'm into herbs, I'm into those things, and I would marry those all together. Put them in my fridge overnight with per pound. If you're eating something cold, it's 2 teaspoons per pound of salt. And I'd put those in there overnight, and I'd sit it there, and I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd grind that all together and lightly mix it. And then maybe I'd be like, hey, Jesus, I'm in the Midwest. What do you guys have out there for dried cherries? What is your dried fruit? Maybe you have nuts. I don't know what nut grows out there. Pecans in the South. What do you guys have in the?
Oh shit, man! I would say like pecans, hickory nuts. I mean, acorns. If you leach the tannins and roasted them, would
they popped out. Put them in there, and then put it in a slow vessel, and then slowly roast it. If you had caul fat, wrap the outside of that thing in the middle of your caul. Let that caul fat cook on the inside. Just cook it barely. Don't roast it to 200 degrees. Try to get the thermometer out and cook to 145, 150. That's a great place to put your offal if you don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
Just enough to get the flavor in there, but not that it's a big.
And you could grind it or like just chop it like a mince.
Exactly. Just fold it all in there like you're making it, and then slow cook it, cool it, and then just slice it and enjoy.
Yeah, so you're talking, that would be like a terrine, right?
A terrine.
Yeah.
Country style pate.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
know,
can do it in any vessel.
Yeah, just like a loaf pan.
Exactly.
Works great, man. You could do a bunch of little ones in muffin tins or something, I guess, if you wanted to. Yeah. You can make kind of like little crepiniers or something.
All of it. And honestly, there is very traditional high-end patés made in all the greatest charcuterie shops that are meatloafs open formed on a patty.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the terrine if you want to make it like a meatloaf, and just over season it with panade and make sure it's nice and seasoned and boozy, and you have your garnishes in it and you're ready to go for a pate. It's something very fun to play with.
Yeah, and you could I'll tell you what else it strikes me is that all those stocks that you should be making with all those bones and everything else, man, all that gelatinous. I'm always telling people, like, just simmer the shit out of your bones until, like, you're like, oh, there's nothing left. And then put it in silicone ice cube trays. And then, man, you could take a few of those out. You could throw that in that liquid mixture.
In your penne.
Yeah, just anything, man. You could add a little collagen. You could add a little extra flavor.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, you could do.
You just got to start. That's the funniest thing about those patés. Like, make your first one if you're going to throw it away anyways. Take notes.
Yeah.
What did I do? I added too much booze. I didn't add enough juniper or rosemary. Slowly but surely started making it. I think it's a ton of fun. And you don't need a casing. You don't need to have to worry about your bind as much as you do when you make a bratwurst or any of that stuff. It's just like run it through once, run it through twice, put it in a mold and roast it through, and look at you, you're a charcuterie maker.
And what you're talking about is not super different than like a Cajun boudin, right?
Exactly.
Like that's a very similar kind of a process, and that can be cased or uncased,
They do uncased boudin. This is my charcuterie knowledge not holding up to it. I've never made boudin.
Oh, really? Oh, man, dude. Yeah, it's so good. You would crush it, man.
Pudding, right?
Huh?
Pudding sausages where you put just tons of panade and booze in
it. Yeah, man. Okay, so there's like French boudin and there's Cajun boudin, right?
Yeah.
And so like French boudin would be like a boudin blanc.
So those I could
like
make. I lied about that. Yeah. Vice versa and those things are.
So like Cajun boudin would be, you would take, so like traditionally it would be like, you would take some like muscle meat from a pig, right? So like maybe you take like some shoulder, a lot of liver. A lot of folks use chicken livers, right? You would cook all that up. You'd use Trinity.
Oh, you pre-cook it?
Yeah, you pre-cook everything.
Oh, wow.
So you like pre-cook rice. You take your Trinity and like your stock and your liver and your roast meat, and you have that all combined. You run that through the grinder. You mix that with rice, and then that's just boudin. And then if you stuff it in a lot of times they stuff it pretty loosely in a hog casing, and then like all throughout Louisiana and. It's really like kind of like around that Baton Rouge area. You stop at grocery stores, I want 3 links, and they'll just cut it with a pair of scissors.
Damn.
I like boudin that's a lot of people just squeeze it out of the casing and then they like eat it on a cracker with mustard.
Cold.
Yeah, cold or hot. Like a lot of times it's steamed. They steam it in the link. I like to crisp up the casing.
Oh, yeah.
Like so on the grill or just like in a skillet, and it's essentially dirty rice inside of a casing.
It sounds like heaven.
Dude, it's so good. It's such a great way to use all that stuff, man. Like, that's what I'm going to do with the guts from that pig I killed the other day. And, it'll make a ton. And that's the thing, too. It's like it's like making tamales or something, right? Like, it's not hard. It's just involved, takes a bunch of counter space up. But, dude, that's like the greatest gift in the world, man.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
You show up at your buddy's house, man, you got a 6-pack and a bunch of boudin, man, like...
They're not throwing you away. You can spend the night.
Dude, or like that terrine you're talking about, that same dude I told you about, Brandon, he taught me this. When you're making like, so like a pate type terrine like that, or if you were doing like a head cheese or anything, when it's cold, like slice it and dredge it in cornmeal and then freeze it and then drop that in
Deep fryer.
Oh yeah. And then like especially all that aspicy stuff inside, like it's like soup dumpling style, like it kind of liquefies inside.
Yeah, crunchy.
Dude, it's awesome. And like, or take that. I'm real big on like textural differences, so like I'd like a thick slice of that to where even the inside would not get warmed through, but you could sear the outside on a griddle and throw that like on some bread with like some onion and pickles and mustard.
Yeah.
Dude, stupid good, dude. It's just like fancy spam.
Yep, exactly.
That's all it is, man.
Those with the head cheeses, oh my God, when it's all full of like that head cheese gelatin and you bread it and fry it. And the Dutch, they have that thing called, have you ever had bitterballen? It's essentially pâtés, and so one of them they mix it with bechamel like a croquette. And then they bread them and fry them.
Oh, I bet that's amazing.
Unbelievable. And you can't stop eating.
That'd be like good bar food, man.
It's what they're good at.
Sit around and drink Heinekens. And
Heine's and a bunch of bitterballen, and let's go.
Dude, that's from my European travels, I held on to, I could say, Twee beers, alsjeblieft. 2 beers, please. And then I'd say, Dankevel.
Yeah, dankeschön.
Yeah, that's all I would say, man.
You nailed. That's all you need.
But really, I would just be like, hey, I speak English. And then every Dutch person was like, oh, hello.
No problem. Yeah, exactly. We all speak it, and we're all strapping human beings.
Yeah, my name is Dirk something or other.
Yeah.
Man, how many... So you're making... And you took me on this really amazing tour of your facility here, man. And there's like... It's so incredibly like you got USDA offices in there. It's like so maintained and so clean, but there's still this very pleasant like tang in the air from those processes that are happening. But so like, do you know off the top of your head like how many different products you're making now?
Yeah, I think we offer 110 different SKUs. So that's like the products in different formats. As products, I make 65 different products.
That's such a big number, man.
It's a huge amount of stuff, yeah. But we're talking anything from different seasonings and all the different salamis, and I fully utilize those pigs. So I make pet treats out of skin and bones, all the way down to a Frankfurter, a bratwurst, a kielbasa, a bacon, a ham, a Landdraukschinken. You name it, if it's made out of a pig, I make it here pretty much. Head cheese, I don't. Blood sausage, I don't. And boudin, apparently, I don't.
Dude, you got to come duck hunt in Arkansas, man. We'll make boudin, man. Dude, that stuff's great, dude.
Absolutely, I would love it. I'll bring the salami.
There you go. I mean, shit, you could stuff a pepper with that. I mean, you could do so much. And dude, it's just, I mean, yeah, dude, you could take the head of your deer and just like boil it and get all that stuff off and chop up the tongue and the eyes and everything. Now, I will say this, man, and I've described it many times on this podcast. I'm not an ungulate liver is an intense thing, dude, and I'm not into it. Like I think it tastes like a mushy bag of pennies. Yeah, and I've tried it, man, and I've decided that I'd rather use it to catch catfish.
Not bad.
Jay grinds all of his elk livers up, and he does 1 pound of liver to 8 pounds of ground.
Oh yeah, for burgers.
Yeah, and just people love it, right? I think just like enough of that stuff that your body craves that you don't realize it. But like, man, bird livers are just killer.
And there's a lot. Is it the irony flavor that you don't like?
It's the metallic part.
Milk is a huge trick.
Just is like soaking the liver in
soaking because it attracts iron, lactic. It attracts iron, and that's the bloody flavor you can. So it'll take a lot of that bitterness out. So if you soak and change your liver 2 or 3 times, it'll pull, reduce it to almost no irony flavor in it. But you'll still get the liver pungent, like the offally taste, that good flavor in it. But the irony where you feel like you're almost biting on a copper penny, that gets real offensive to a lot of people. Sure. And milk, the lactose will attract iron out of it, and you'll soak it, and all that blood will come right out, and the flavor will change. I'll make you some liver sometime.
Dude, I'm down to try. I mean, I believe you, dude. I'll try it.
I'll make it good, I promise.
Dude, yeah, I'd be into that because you do kind of sometimes I feel a little bad. Sure. But I mean, look, dude.
If you're catching catfish, that's an upgrade, though.
Yeah, that's a value added. But I mean, look, dude. Like I've eaten the balls off a deer. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just wasting stuff.
Sure.
They're not great. I've eaten a lot of turkey balls.
That's not my thing.
Dude, I mean, they're not, you know what I do is if I'm making dirty rice with like turkey giblets, I just like mince up the testes and it kind of goes away. But yeah, it's not the greatest thing in the world. And it's not the psychosomatic part. They're not that pleasant.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. It's not something I want to do it just doesn't call to me. Like my buddies, they'll eat the elk nuts and everything. And for some reason and I eat everything.
Sure.
It's the one thing I've tried twice in my life. In Switzerland, the hunters that brought the animals in, we would cook them, 2 dishes usually always, and one of them was liver with demi-glace over hash browns with savory whipped cream, and then the second one was we'd crack the head open, deep fry the brain, and serve it with applesauce and sour cream.
Really?
And that's up there too, with one being like I've ate it a couple times, and I'm like I think I'm good. I don't like the texture and like the things that are happening there.
My grandma was like real big into eating like pig brains and scrambled eggs. Oof. And in the South, like eating squirrel brains is like an old.
Is it a thing?
It's like like kind of an older person thing. But yeah, dude, like, or have you ever read that book series, the Foxfire books? Mm. So Foxfire books was like this like cultural anthropologist in the 70s who I believe actually ended up being like a dirtbag and like child predator, but he has this whole series of books, and he like basically had these like college students with him in like the 70s, and they were up in Appalachia, like getting all these first person accounts from like these people that some of these people were like born right after the Civil War in this very remote area, so they learned how to like make wooden wagon wheels and how to strip a coon tail with like a forked stick and whatever else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember reading about it in this older lady talking about how like getting to eat the eyes and the brain from the possum was like the treat. Like if you were like a good girl, you got the possum brain.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that comes from like if you denied a person all the access to vitamins and everything that we had, dude, like they're going to start craving like the gnarlier bits of an animal.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to like go for that fat behind the eyes. And
absolutely.
Eating the kidneys. And it's like something you would be repulsed by possibly would become very attractive and satiating to you. And it's because like your body needs it.
Yeah. When you're hungry, it's a different craving.
Yeah.
When your body needs these minerals. And I mean, it's a true thing. My father too, being the old school Greek guy, there was not an animal we didn't boil the whole head, and eyeballs were first choice for him.
Yeah. Popping them out. And dude, that's texturally, that's a weird thing, dude.
Yeah. It's a tricky thing for me to consume, but it's all meat. I say it all the time, and if you're into it, you can eat it. It's just if I don't have to, currently there's a few things: eyeballs. I'm not chowing down a ton, but then it's strange because I love tongue. I'll eat tongue twice a week.
Yeah, but tongue is not. I mean, tongue tastes like pot roast,
Yeah, it's a great texture.
Yeah, and it just doesn't mess with you as much. I also think it's the application. So like, I grew up my dad eating chitlins, just like stewed pig intestines, and like
fried.
They're awful. They're awful. But I was in Texas, and I bought some like tripas tacos, and it's just like crispy cow intestines, and it tasted like fried chicken skin, and it was great.
Oh, the best.
But man, dude, those dude, this is insane, dude. I just saw this. I gotta take a picture of this. This chandelier in here, that is. It doesn't have the globes on it, man. That's identical to the chandelier that's in the house I grew up in. It's still my mom's house. It's like this Art Deco from the 30s house. Dude, that's gnarly. I just looked up and saw that, dude.
With the candles and everything, huh?
Well, no. So those candles, I think, those might be an add-on. Definitely that centerpiece. See how that?
Yeah.
That's absolutely the same. I actually think the rest of it's slightly different, but I bet you it's the same company made it. I'll send it to my mom. My mom enjoys it.
She loves that, yeah. So where do you stand on heart? Are you okay with eating heart?
Yeah, I'm down with heart, man. Yeah. I mean, I eat all the bird hearts. I keep all my Like that last bear heart, I like bacon cured it and smoked it and just used it in gumbo. Yeah, I've been seeing this like heart tartare trend that like, I mean, it just doesn't like scream out to me. Like Jesse's got this, what's that stuff called? Parissa? Are you familiar with that?
That's the disease, the rodent disease?
No.
What's that called?
Trichinosis comes from rodent turds. Parissa is this weird, like, isolated thing in this part of Texas where you ever heard of, like, cannibal sandwiches?
Yeah.
It's like ground hamburger meat and raw onions, and it's like up in some Midwest city. Parissa is like ground beef and jalapenos and cheddar cheese, and you just eat it on a Ritz cracker.
Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it's all right, but
you can skip it.
I mean, like, I'll put it out there, I'll eat some, but I'm not like gonna nail a bowl of it. But I also like Bayer's just been getting me into eating sashimi and stuff too.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Because I just like, and I know it's all shipped or whatever, man, but like, dude, I'm just, man, if I'm going to eat seafood, I want to eat it in a place where there's some expectation it might be coming from close by.
Just fool you.
Yeah, dude. And just, I don't know, man. Like, just Little Rock ain't the place I'm just trying to, like, nail sushi. But, like, I dropped off in Sacramento. Like, I ate it there, and it was quite good.
Delightful.
And I'll tell you what was my favorite. We had this, like, big sashimi platter. And it was, like, yellowtail and fatty tuna and
salmon belly.
Yeah, salmon belly, dude. But the best, bar none, was the octopus.
Oh yeah, fan,
dude. Oh man, crushed. I would have preferred just all that octopus, man.
That's my people's food,
dude. yeah, man.
Like, yeah,
dude, that stuff's amazing.
Yeah, I spent so much time when I lived there, I was trying to hunt them with a spear, like a trident.
Yeah,
and I'd watch these like little kids be able to do it, and I never even came close. I'd see tons of octopus, not tons, but I'd see enough octopus that I should have killed.
Just like what, snorkeling or something?
Yeah, snorkeling, holding your breath and trying to get it, but I had no clue what I was doing.
Jay's like huge in that now.
Big at it. Yeah,
like he's learning from like one of the best spear fishermen in the planet. But
let's see this. Jay's gonna be so good at it.
Oh, dude, man, he was like, well, the first like crudo and like sashimi I ever ate was like it was a short-billed swordfish.
Oh wow!
I think that he had speared down in Hawaii, dude, and it was super good, dude.
Of course,
super good. What well, look here, man. I know you got to go get cleaned up because you said your mom's birthday.
Yeah, mom's birthday today for sure.
How old is your mom?
79.
Oh, dang, dude, that's a big one, dude.
Yeah.
Is she calling you now?
That's my wife's calling me, being like, "All right, what are you doing?"
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this up. Man, we really didn't even talk about like all your upland stuff and all your hunting here in Oregon, but
we have more.
We'll do it again sometime, man.
That's easy.
But so I mean, you could just Google Olympia Provisions, but like if folks, so I mean, you're carried like all over the country, right? Like Whole Foods. I mean, this is
we distribute across the nation,
readily available.
I think so. Yeah, if you don't, you can
like white wrappings, got like the red and white label.
We ship direct too, so if you want to try it in my products, I'll mail them to you all over America, for sure.
And then I mean, is that like your? Well, we didn't even talk about it. You have how many restaurants? 5?
Yeah, this will be 5 restaurants.
Are they all in Portland?
Yep. You should go right down the streat 2 blocks from here and eat the octopus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should. I'll call them and tell them you're coming.
Oh, man, I might.
You have time.
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to do. Dude,
Please do.
So excited to meet you, dude. Like, just what an absolute pleasure, man. And this place you put together is so cool. And
thank you so much.
Man, something I noticed, like the way you spoke to your employees, and like, look, they could all be totally full of shit, but like I would actually say they all seemed happy. Hey, how you doing? I mean, I've had lots of bosses, and I didn't pretend like I liked them that much. And they're like, hey, oh, man, trying to do my best job in here, man. Just learn how everything runs. And you're like, oh, you're killing it, man. I've got good reports. Thanks a lot. But that's like something I saw that's something I've seen at Jesse at Daidui. That's something I've seen with Leroy and Lewis and like we talked about, it's amazing But if you treat people like you appreciate them, and like they're ultimately the ones that are allowing you to have the business you have, like it's almost like they appreciate being treated like human beings, and they work hard for you.
Yeah, it is. It's I guess I've had enough shitty bosses and been around enough shitty working things. It's the last thing you want to do is go into a place that you dread. And we have to go there 40 hours a week or more or less, depending on what situation you're in. But I think at some point you should recognize we all have to do this, and it should be a very enjoyable, respectable place you could learn, you could work hard at, have pride in it.
That's huge, man. Like, I think that's probably not that common anymore. It's just someone sad. Like feeling proud of what they do.
Yeah, you should walk out of here, or I walk out of your job and being like, I just killed it. Like, I just did a good job. I worked hard. I'm proud of what I did. Nobody's doing winky. We're actually here trying to make the best thing we possibly can.
Yeah.
And if you're not proud of that, I mean, go work anywhere else. There's a million other jobs that you can just go sit and squeeze by, but there's a good group of people that like to work hard and be surrounded by people trying to do their best and pushing themselves. And that's, I think for a boss like Jesse and everybody, you just got to be consistent. You're the one that has to, if a product's under par and you're going to eat the cost of it, you got to throw it away. You got to make sure that you set that standard, and as hard as it is, you show up cheery. If you're not making money this month and you worked your ass off, you've still got to figure out how to be positive and know, hey, we're going to fix this. You can't take it out on them. You can't take it out on people. It's like everybody wants to do it. Come in, work hard, set the bar, be positive.
Yeah, nobody wants to work for, dude, an attaboy goes a long way.
Heck yeah.
Nobody wants to just be, I remember being dog cussed on a roof, and it's like, dude, you know how hot it is up here?
Yeah, why?
You're talking to me like a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
You think I'm gonna bust my ass for you?
Yeah, it's not the most lovely work environment, right? I love it. I love working in a cooler. I love being at 32 degrees on a slippery floor, lifting heavy things and throwing them. But it's a unique place.
Yeah,
that's a unique work environment for people to do. So,
but they can come and get a cup of coffee,
have lunch, take meat home, enjoy each other's company. Have positive conversation, know whatever positive, ideas they have for improvement, we're going to listen and value. And that goes a long way. Seeing change and recognize, hey, I could change this process. I can walk out of here and take this product to my mom and be like, hey, this is the best thing I can make in America with the coolest animals, farmed the proper way. That goes a long way. You should be proud of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
And then I bet it's rad for your mom.
Oh, my mother! Oh, my goodness!
Because that's like having a kid who's like is like on a big TV show or something. Because that's like such an approachable thing that like, oh, you should taste the sausage that my son made.
Yeah, my mom's by far my biggest fan, and she used to do demos before retirement, so she'd go to Whole Foods and be the demo gal.
She'd be like, "This is my son.
This is my son."
Yeah, dude, moms are great for
They're the best promoters.
My mom sends me messages. Oh, you're so handsome, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm like,
thank you, Mom.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, man. Because I kind of was feeling like a dirtbag today. But anyway, man. So OlympiaProvisions.com, I imagine.
Yep, that's us.
Or any place that fine cured meats are sold.
Correct.
And dude, seriously, thank you so much for letting me
come back up. We'll actually talk about hunting. And
yeah, man. But yeah, you go take care of Mama.
I will too. Thanks so much for this,
dude.
Man. I really appreciate it.
And thanks everybody for listening. Until next time. Thank you so much for listening all the way through to this episode of the Black Duck Revival podcast. As always, produced and brought to you by me, Jonathan Wilkins, and Brian Sachs. And man, I hope you guys have been enjoying following along with my 28-day long trip all the way out there, so we did Texas, California, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, finished up in Oklahoma. Just an experience and like a time that it's kind of hard to describe, just having enough time to just let stuff breathe. Like your knowledge base has some time to breathe and just expand and settle in, and your relationships with people and all of that, man. So it's been so fun keeping you guys kind of abreast of what's going on, and we'll be doing more of that stuff, a lot more of that kind of stuff. I think is, whatever this is, Black Duck Revival is going to move into that wanderlust, I think, a bit more heartily. So keep up with that stuff on the website. We'll start making some changes and updating the website here, and we'll get those hunt dates out here in the coming weeks. And then follow along on Instagram, just Black Duck Revival. That's the tag, and see what we're up to, see what we're doing. If you enjoy the podcast, please take a minute and leave a review. I really appreciate. Our buddy Kip here in Arkansas just put one up, and I've gotten a couple of really beautiful emails that apologize. As we've talked about before, I'm bad with that stuff, but I'm going to get responses out to all y'all, and just know that I have been reading it, and I'm just so appreciative that folks listen to these conversations and seem to get something out of it. So until next time, folks, we'll see you later.